The opening scene tells you everything you need to know.
Two people are constantly moving in circles in and out of the crowd. We don't know whether they'll sit down or what.
A public square, music playing, tourists walking.
They're convinced that they can't be recorded because they're in a crowd and constantly moving.
And then cut to, is that a rifle or a microphone? It even has a scope with crosshairs.
Yet they're the target.
The view glides, tracks, aims. We are not just observing, we're targeting.
He'd kill us if he got the chance.
Is someone about to die? Hello, I'm Kevin Harris, and I help people understand themselves by helping them understand the stories that resonate with them. And today we're talking about one of the most quietly terrifying movies ever made, Francis Ford Coppola's classic 1974 thriller, The Conversation. It is a film about fear and paranoia, specifically the fear of being known, of being watched.
What do you see?
Of a conversation that you thought was private being used against you.
I think you better turn it off and get out.
Harry Caul is extremely private, painfully so. But ironically, he is in the business of invading other people's privacy. He is a professional eavesdropper, the best in the business.
I don't care what you're talking about. All I want is a nice fat recording.
He can record anyone, anywhere, and no one will ever know he was there.
Here's to Harry, the best, bar none.
He's made a name for himself by exposing secrets. Secrets that people didn't even know they were revealing. But that expertise has come at a price. We learn almost in passing that 3 people are dead.
3 people were murdered, that's all.
Because of recordings that Harry made in the past.
People were hurt because of my work. I'm afraid it could happen again.
This isn't just a man with a job. This is a man who carries the weight of what he knows. And what he knows now is troubling. His latest assignment is a young couple talking in a park. The recording is fragmented at first, distorted. But Harry, in his usual obsessive way, pieces it together, slowly, methodically. As he reconstructs the tape, he begins to realize that the people he recorded may be in danger from the person who hired him, based on the conversation Harry has recorded. Should he turn the tapes over to this mysterious client, or should he interfere?
Now look, don't get involved in this, Mr. Caul. Those tapes are dangerous. Someone may get hurt.
Because once you hear something, once you know something, you can't unknow it, and that knowledge begins to eat him alive. Harry has become both detective and accomplice. He wants to warn the couple, but he doesn't. He wants to be a hero, but he isn't.
What they do with the tapes is their own business.
Instead, he dreams about approaching the woman and trying to explain what he knows.
Listen, my name is Harry Caul. Can you hear me?
He imagines a version of himself that acts, but in real life, he is not part of the conversation.
I know you don't know who I am, but I know you.
That's the tragedy of Harry Caul. He wants to know everything but share nothing.
You won't show me anything. Keep it all to yourself. You know damn well you will.
He demands access to others' secrets, but gives away none of his own.
Do I have secrets, Harry? I know you do.
When his girlfriend asks basic questions, like where he works, he snaps and ends the relationship. He has an assistant who wants to learn, who asks the right questions.
Stanley, please, I'm trying to get this done.
All right, don't get excited.
But Harry pushes him away too.
Well, I'm getting fed up.
For what?
About you're asking me questions all day long.
That assistant ends up taking a job elsewhere.
Since when are you working for Moran, Stanley?
Since yesterday.
Harry's last name, Caul,
C-A-U-L, Caul.
is the word used for the amniotic membrane that encloses a fetus before it is born. Inside this protective caul, the baby is safe from the outside world, much like Harry trying to protect himself from nosy landlords.
Mr. Evangelista, how'd you know it was my birthday?
Nah, I don't remember telling you.
And questioning business associates.
Come on, Harry. Show and tell. How'd you do it?
At one point, Harry does let down his defenses just a little.
It's the one you want. I wish you'd tell me.
He confides in a woman enough to ask her for some relationship advice. But he is almost immediately punished for opening up, when it is revealed that the pen in his pocket was actually a microphone given to him by his rival, and that private conversation is played back for everyone to laugh at. Harry's entire life is about avoiding vulnerability.
As of today, my mail will go to a post office box with a combination on it.
His apartment is triple locked.
No, I'm in a payphone, and I don't have a home telephone.
Yes, I don't have a telephone.
How'd you get this phone number?
Harry Caul tries to live within that translucent birthing sac, reminiscent of the clear jacket that he wears. He tries to be a ghost, but in doing so, he builds walls so high no one can get in.
You know, I was rereading Dear Abby the other night, and there was this article, a letter from a fellow called Lonely and Anonymous. I think it was Harry.
Which begs the question, what's worse, having your secrets exposed or never being known at all?
I know why people ask me a lot of questions.
I want to know you.
We can't remain within the womb forever. Eventually, we are born helpless and exposed for the world to see. The longer I live, the more I realize that life is about relationships.
I don't know anything about human nature. I don't know anything about curiosity. That's not part of what I do.
And a life without relationships is not much of a life at all.
But I don't think I'm going to wait for you anymore.
There's a girl I knew in college who once asked me to interpret a recurring dream that she was having. Being asked to interpret dreams was not a common request, but she shared with me that in her dream, her boyfriend was driving his truck down the highway, and stacked in the back of the truck were stacks of her underwear, neatly stacked on top of each other. And as he drove down the highway, her underwear, piece by piece, was blowing out of the back. I asked her if her boyfriend was going on a trip anytime soon. She said yes, that he was heading to California to visit his family without her. I asked her if she was worried about what he might say about her to his family. She suddenly realized that that was what her dream was about. She was worried that he might share things that she had said to him in private with his family. Her secrets flying away from her, her identity being reshaped by someone else's version of the truth. That's the fear Harry lives with every day, that his words, or someone else's, will be taken out of context, turned into ammunition, used to destroy a life. Eventually, the secrets he uncovered are taken from him.
We have the tapes. They're perfectly safe.
And he no longer has any power. All he can do is continue to listen, to eavesdrop, and to fear. Speaking of fear, when I was a kid, I was taught to be afraid of marketers and salespeople. They were like predators, smooth-talking criminals who could talk you out of your money and your sense of control. Once a door-to-door salesman came to our house and convinced my mom to buy this miracle cleaner. He spent a long time demonstrating it. It did wonders, but as soon as he left, the bottle that she was left with did nothing. She had been conned. And I never forgot that feeling, how easily trust could be exploited. Even now, I'm often suspicious of salespeople. Not because I think they're bad, but because I'm afraid I'll let my guard down and someone will get in and tear my world apart. Harry Caul is like that, but on a professional level. He records other people so that he can avoid ever being recorded. He invades privacy because he's terrified of losing his own.
I do, I think. He was once somebody's baby boy, and now there he is, half dead on a park bench.
Harry's only form of emotional expression is through playing his saxophone. He may not be able to control what people do with the information he gathers, but he can express how he is feeling through music. But even that, in the end, gets turned against him. Because the worst finally happens. He ends up becoming the target. The crosshairs are aimed at him. His phone rings, but no one responds on the other line. He goes back to playing his saxophone, and then his phone rings again. But this time he hears a recording of himself playing his saxophone. Someone is listening to him, even in his most private space, even beyond his triple-locked doors. In one of the most iconic endings in film history, Harry tears apart his entire apartment, looking for the bug. He rips through the floorboards, smashes his furniture, dismantles the lights. Nothing. No wires, no devices, no answers. Just Harry, alone. Sitting in the ruins of his self-made fortress, he returns to playing a broken tune on his saxophone, now feeling watched, exposed, vulnerable. The movie never tells us exactly how he was recorded, but there is a clue.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is a Moran S15 harmonica tablet.
Earlier in the film, his rival shows off a new recording device, a tone that when played through a phone turns the called phone into a microphone that transmits back what it hears. Harry dismissed it,
It's junk.
thinking it's a gimmick, but in the world of this movie, it's the only explanation that fits.
What do you say, Harry? Come on. How about going into partnership, Harry? I could use a partner, so could you. 50-50. How about it? Huh?
I don't need anyone.
The best surveillance man in the business was outmatched and targeted because of his involvement in recording the conversation, which raises the question, if he can be recorded, what chance do the rest of us have? And that's why maybe this movie feels more relevant now than it did in 1974. We live in a world where microphones are in our homes, in our pockets, on our wrists. Most of us accept it. We say it's the price of convenience. But deep down we know it changes how we talk, what we say, what we share. I've had moments, too many actually, where I've said something in a private conversation only to be shown something related in an ad minutes later. It doesn't feel like a coincidence, it feels like surveillance, and we all just live with it. You can lock all the doors, turn off all the devices, trust no one, and you still might get recorded. You still might be misunderstood. You still might become a target. The conversation is not about technology, it's about the soul.
Bless me, Father, for I've sinned.
About what happens to a person when they devote their life to keeping others out, when they build walls instead of relationships, when they live in fear of being misunderstood or rejected or hurt, when they are afraid to actually live and fully love. I think of Alfred Lord Tennyson's immortal words, "'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all." And that is the meaning on the screen. Thanks for listening in. If this story got under your skin and made you feel a little bit like Harry Caul, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Thanks again.